Hello, viewers. Welcome to the seventh episode of Aspirants. And today I have with me another talented guy. His name is Oreyjeet Das, who completed his MBBS from Guwahati Medical College and Hospital in the year 2017. And currently, he is engaged in two of his own private chambers at Guwahati, Assam. So, Oreyjeet Da, welcome to this virtual talk show of Aspirants. And it's a pleasure of having you
Thank you.
amidst your so very busy schedule.
Thank you, Ananya. Thank you so much for having over here.
Yeah. The first thing I would like to ask you, medical life, was it something you planned since your childhood, or like you decided to, go into that field with time? How did you develop your interest in that?
It was not something that I planned, to be very honest with you. At the end of the high secondary, like in 2013,
Yeah.
What I was planning is that I'll go for a technical course,
Hmm.
whether it be medical science or engineering or even a paramedical course.
Hmm.
And then I prepared for the entrances and I also appeared in them. So by the grace of God, since I got into MBBS, and like as they say, it is the like the cherry on the top
Yeah.
if you get into the MBBS for a guy who has biology in his HS.
Yeah.
So that was the very if I go to say, that is the very plain reason behind that.
Hmm.
It was not something that I planned before. Definitely not something that I planned, or something that was pressurized on me by parents or a third party guy. There's
Hmm.
not something like that.
Yeah.
But since it was the best option available, I'm being very frank here. But since it was the best option available, so I took it. You
Okay.
can say that.
Yeah. Okay, so as a medical student, we all know, we are very much aware about this coronavirus and the pandemic that broke out and it shook the entire globe. Now, the life of this medical student, as a doctor, or like being associated in the field, I'm pretty much sure that life would be very difficult at the time. Saving yourself from that, also serving the patients or any other, because you might be practicing at the time. So I would love to know about your viewpoint in this regard, that how was the scene at the time of pandemic, and what do you have to say about this?
Look, Ananya, the fear was always there. The fear of being infected with the virus, the
Yeah.
fear of seeing your parents being infected with the virus, and in fact, it did happen to us.
Hmm.
Thankfully, during the first wave itself, when the virus, as retrospectively it is said, that when the virus or the virulence of the virus was not as high as it was seen in the second wave.
Yeah.
So both my parents and me, we three suffered with COVID,
Yeah.
and we like restricted ourselves into our homes.
Hmm.
And after that, again, I had to continue doing my duties once
Yes.
once I once I got over that period. So yes, the fear was always there. But if you always keep on thinking about it, then you cannot go on to do your duties in a proper manner, because not only COVID, being a doctor, or being a person who is involved in this medical science, we are
Yeah.
always exposed to hundreds of diseases.
Yes.
Like if you say tuberculosis or TB,
Hmm.
it is so much still prevalent in India. Like if,
Yes.
if you pick up 10 guys, if you pick up 10 persons, almost out of 6 out of them will have the TB bacilli in them. Of course,
Hmm.
due to good immunity,
Hmm.
the bacilli might not be showing symptoms in them, but
Hmm.
it might still be present in the respiratory tract.
Yeah.
So not only tuberculosis, any other illness. I think today itself we are getting a news that Nagaon is becoming a hub of HIV/AIDS.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
With drug abusers, and in fact, the same news came about Guwahati also, I suppose, a few months back.
Hmm.
Normal people, or the laymen, as they say, they are getting to know about these things right now.
Hmm.
But we being medical professionals, we have to be aware of this, and at the
Yes.
same time, we have to keep on seeing patients. So yes, you have to take it the way it is and accept it as part and parcel of your profession, I suppose.
Yeah. Very well answered. And yeah, that's a very different life. We won't, we can't measure that depth of, this particular life. So that's why I just
Just that
highlight.
appreciation, that piece of appreciation from you is enough. I mean, not only from you,
Yeah,
But
from
anybody who is
everyone, yes, who is not into that medical line. Yeah, got it.
that
So
piece of appreciation is more than enough for us.
yes, yeah. Oh, I appreciate this. So yeah, thank you
Thank you.
for your beautiful answer. So one serious topic I would like to raise now. There are a section of students, I would say, who choose the medical line just because they are being pressurized by the family. In most cases, it is seen because just because it is seen that the many of the family members are in the medical line, so it has to just go on like a cycle. I'm not here highlighting the students who are interested and who is out of interest taking that medical line. So those section of people who take it by pressure, they're in some sort of family or like that. So what do you have to say to those section of people, like who take medical line just because they have to and not because they are very quite interested in that?
Okay, that's I think a pretty practical question on your part that you have asked here, because we see this problem arising now. Whether to call it right or wrong, I think that won't be right on my part to call it either right or either wrong.
Yeah.
That if your parents are into the medical profession, or if they are doctors, and so you are you are inclined to go towards that, whether
Hmm.
it is due to parental pressure, peer pressure, or whatever may be. But
Hmm.
at the same time, it is also not wrong to call it, not it will be wrong to call it wrong, if I may say so,
Hmm.
that you are going into the medical profession just because your parents are there. But at the
Hmm.
end of the day, just one thing that I always like to say, or even I try to follow it, whether during your HS or after your HS, or even during your post graduation, or whenever you are trying to choose a career path for yourself,
Hmm.
just think 100 times before you choose one.
Hmm.
But once you have chosen one, do not think even once.
Yeah.
What I mean to say is that these kind of things, that come into the limelight, is because people, even after joining medical, they tend to think that, okay, maybe I should not have been here.
Hmm. Yeah.
Maybe this is not where I belong. And that
Yeah.
is exactly where my point comes into play. That when you join a particular field or a particular career, you choose a particular career, then
Hmm.
please do not think about it that whether I have done something wrong or whether I've done something right.
Yeah.
Because if you are on that track of thought, or on that track of thinking, then you
Hmm.
are always 100 steps behind than your peers.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
interest in a particular field, Ananya, I think it cannot be. It is not something that you grow, within a fortnight or something like that. It is something
Yes.
that comes. It is something that comes over a period of time. It is kind of a process.
Hmm.
So again, you may say I'm answering it diplomatically, but
No,
whether
actually, that's actually a diplomatic question, but I wanted to
Hmm.
know your viewpoint that do you support this trend of cycle, that like you have to follow the trend, or like you follow this thing like if you're interested only then only just go, because there are certain people who there are certain people who support this, their parents are
Yes,
there, so just let them study, what
I get it.
else,
I
so
get it.
this sort of attitude.
See, if somebody, if your child is someone who is totally, out of the science background, if he or she is into an arts background, or maybe a commerce background, like he is
Hmm.
not a student of science.
Yeah.
For such people, I think it's definitely not right for the parents to pressurize him or her.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
at the same time, if your child is into science, if he is if or if she is taking up science as a stream in high secondary,
Hmm.
then I think, like, there is not much wrong in trying to just motivate him rather than pushing him.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
there's a of
Yeah.
course, there's a fine line between both of them.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between pressurizing your child and motivating your child.
Yes.
So what I parents
Hmm.
can do is just, rather than saying from class 1 ki baba tumi doctor hoboi lagibo,
Ha.
they may go on to say, baba tumi doctor hole tumi ekhini subidha paba.
Yes. Yeah.
Whatever it may be, in the sense, it might be a financial gain, it may be a status in the society, or it might be a personal
Yeah.
satisfaction of
Yeah.
curing,
Choice of
whatever it
interest.
may be. But
Hmm.
yes,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
it has to be in a motivational form rather than a pressurized form.
Yes. Yeah. Very well highlighted. Okay, so one best and one worst experience of your entire career till date. Very shortly, just if you can narrate.
There have been many, but it's tough to choose one.
Okay.
Particularly, I can just highlight a few instances where the patient party, maybe they come up with a small bunch of chocolates or a small bunch of sweets after the patient is being released.
Okay.
Especially at GMCH, I got such situations while doing internship, and
Hmm.
that is rather very satisfying.
Yes.
Even today, when you appreciated the medical professional, I think that was a very nice moment of satisfaction for me.
Yeah.
Those little things really matter.
Yeah. It matters. Little things. Joy of little things.
Those little, and if you call about worst experience, there have been many. There have been many. I'll not talk about death over here.
Yeah.
Rather, you can call it a bit funny, a funnier kind of an incident.
Hmm.
But it was in seventh sem when we had our clinical postings in this labor room
Hmm.
where you conduct the delivery.
Hmm.
We were assisting the interns. One
Hmm.
of my friend he put a samosa in my mouth, and I was
Okay.
assisting while delivering because that is how it works in the delivery room. You
Okay.
don't have time to eat, you don't have time to drink. So I was rather hungry. I told him quite as soon. So he just put the samosa in my mouth. At the same time, the amniotic fluid, the amniotic fluid it burst, and the entire fluid it came upon my face and my chest. So I had to again vomit it out. So you can call it a worst experience or a rather funny experience.
I'm
We're
scared.
not talking. Yes, we're not talking about death here. So I'll rather keep it funny.
Oh my God. Okay. Literally,
That is the kind of
this is
thing.
actually, I guess, was not, that's very scary. Very scary.
Yes, yes. And at 7th sem, it was rather scary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so interesting, very interesting. Okay. I heard that you have your own private clinic. So how are you managing that apart from your own regular routine, daily routine?
It comes with time. It comes with time. The management part,
Yeah.
because initially when you start with a private clinic, the issue is that the management of the patient.
Hmm, hmm.
That
Yeah.
you might have your day duty till 5 p.m. or sometimes it also gets extended.
Hmm.
So but with time it definitely comes. You tend to get a grip of things that if I have this many patients, so I'll just give them a prior appointment in the morning and I'll call them in the evening because I tend to sit more in the evening.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I do consultation in the evening. So yes, so that is how I manage. Like if I have this many patients, I'll just manage it between the two chambers. I'll ask them
Yes.
what is your address, and then just call them based on whichever chamber is nearby to their home.
Okay. Okay, so coming to the last part of this conversation, because it's going like very terrific in a like a rapid fire round, and I'm really enjoying
Yes,
the flow of this conversation. But
definitely.
I'm keeping it very short and beautiful and brief, so that it gets easy for the viewers also to learn
Mhm.
with time. What message
Definitely.
would you like to give at the end to all the aspirants who are now preparing for into this medical line? Like any piece of advice?
Uh, See, there can be many, but to keep it short, if someone is really with honesty, if someone is preparing for whatever entrance, not only medical, I think one piece of
Hmm.
advice that I could give is they can abstain themselves from social media at least for 6 months. I
Okay,
think that is
very
quite
good
important.
advice. I
That is
guess
I
that's
think
for
quite
all.
important.
That's for all. That
Yes,
should be
that's
for
that's
all.
even true for us, Ananya.
Yeah.
Even while preparing for the PG entrances, we have to abstain ourselves from social media
Hmm, 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 hmm,
because
hmm.
it takes a lot of your time, and not only the time that you spend over there,
Hmm.
but also the time before that, and also some a few minutes or hours even after spending the time in social media.
Yeah.
So abstain yourself from that. And of course, it's easy to talk about great things like keep your focus and all those things, but always, as they say, it is easier
Yeah.
said than done. It's
Yeah.
definitely easier said than. So do not listen to what others say.
Hmm.
Just if you really want to achieve something, I think even God will help you.
Yes.
Like what I mean to say is that you'll have to study. God will never come and say that okay, this is the answer
Yes.
to that.
Hmm.
But there's a particular thing called guess answers
Hmm.
in multiple choice questions,
Hmm. Hmm.
and
Hmm.
those
Hmm.
guess answers tend to become correct when you work hard, and they tend to
Yes.
become they tend to become more wrong when you do not work hard.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that is very, I think that is very practical, and that is what I have seen over these years preparing for
Yes,
all these entrances.
yes, yes. Okay, so wonderful. Arijit, thank you so much for your time. And I really enjoyed this entire conversation. I'm sure that the viewers will also get a very brief and very short and very qualitative, analysis amongst, by watching this video. So thank you so much. I hope you shine with flying colors, and with a hope that
Thank
I
you.
meet you someday in person.
Sure.
You follow your dreams, you do great things in life just the way you're doing right now. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Wish you the
Thank
same, Ananya. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Good night. Bye bye. Good night.